Jake Martinez felt the metal beam crush his left leg before he heard the sound. The pain shot through his body like fire. He screamed and fell to the ground of the mining ship. Blood pooled around him on the cold metal floor. "Jake is down!" shouted Lisa Wong, his work partner. She ran across the cargo bay toward him. Her boots made loud sounds on the metal as she hurried. The heavy beam had fallen from the loading crane. It was meant to move rocks from the asteroid they were mining. Now, it pinned Jake to the floor. His leg was twisted in a way that legs should not twist. "Help me move this thing," Lisa called to the other workers. 3 men rushed over. They all grabbed the beam and lifted it off Jake's leg. Jake cried out again when the weight came off. Sometimes that hurt more than being crushed. Jake tried to sit up but fell back down. His vision was getting dark around the edges. He could feel his heart beating fast and hard. His leg felt hot and cold at the same time. "We need to get him to a medical station now," said Pete Clark, the shift supervisor. He looked worried. "This is bad, really bad." Lisa pressed her hands against Jake's leg to stop the bleeding. Her hands came away red. "How far to the nearest hospital?" she asked. Pete checked his computer pad. "There is a big medical station 3 hours away. It is run by aliens, but they treat humans too." "Aliens?" Jake managed to say, speaking hurt. "Yeah, the Velinari. They are supposed to be really good doctors," Pete said. He was already calling the ship's pilot. "Get us to medical station Epsilon 7. As fast as you can." The ship changed direction. Jake could feel it turning. The movement made his stomach sick. Lisa kept pressure on his leg. She looked scared. "Just stay awake, Jake," she said. "Keep talking to me." "It hurts," Jake said. That was all he could think about. The pain filled up his whole world. "I know, but you are going to be okay. These alien doctors are the best in this part of space." Jake had never been treated by aliens before. He had seen them at the big trading stations. They were tall and thin with long arms. Their skin looked like it was made of silver. They moved in a way that seemed like dancing. The 3 hours felt like 3 days. Jake went in and out of sleep. Sometimes he woke up screaming. Other times he woke up quiet, with Lisa holding his hand. When they finally got to the medical station, Jake saw it through the ship's window. It was huge, bigger than any building he had ever seen. It looked like a giant flower made of metal and glass floating in space. "Wow," he said softly. 2 alien medical workers came onto the ship. They wore white clothes that seemed to glow. They had 4 arms each and moved very smoothly. Jake had never seen anyone move like that. "Human patient," said one of them. Her voice sounded like music. "Severe trauma to lower extremity." "Yes," said Lisa. "He has been hurt for 3 hours." Now, the aliens put Jake on a floating bed. It felt strange to be floating. One of them ran a small device over his body. It made soft beeping sounds. Said the other alien. She was looking at a screen that showed Jake's body. "Human bone structure is interesting." They moved Jake through the halls of the medical station. Everything was very clean and white. The ceiling was high and curved. Other aliens walked by. Some stopped to look at Jake. They whispered to each other in their musical language. Jake felt embarrassed. He was dirty from work and covered in blood. These aliens all looked perfect and clean. They brought him to a room with many beds. Most of the beds had aliens in them. Jake was the only human he could see. The aliens in the beds looked at him with curiosity. A taller alien came over. She wore different clothes that meant she was important. "I am Nurse Zixandra," she said. "I will be taking care of you." Her voice was pretty like singing, but Jake could hear something else in it. She sounded like she thought he was not very important. "What happened to you, little human?" she asked. The way she said "little human" made Jake feel small. A metal beam fell on my leg at work, Jake said. Zixandra looked at his leg with her large silver eyes. She made a sound that might have been a laugh. Oh my. Humans are so fragile. Are they not? She was talking to another alien nurse. They both looked at Jake's leg and shook their heads. On my world, a child could survive this injury with no problems, said the other nurse. But humans ... well, they are still a young species. Jake felt angry, but he was too hurt and tired to say anything. He just lay there while they poked and prodded his leg. We will need to do surgery, said Zixandra. And then you will need to rest for many weeks. Human bodies heal so slowly. She was talking about him like he was not there, like he was just a broken thing that needed fixing. Your bone density is so low, she continued, looking at her screen, and your muscle fiber is so simple. How do humans even survive on their world? The other aliens in the room were listening now. Some of them made sounds that Jake thought were laughing. It is amazing that humans made it to space at all, said one of them. Jake closed his eyes. He was tired of being stared at. He was tired of being talked about like he was weak. But most of all, he was tired of the pain they gave him. Something for the pain, and he started to feel sleepy. As he drifted off, he could still hear the aliens talking about how weak and fragile humans were. This will be an easy case, said Zixandra. Humans are so simple to treat. If only she knew, Jake thought as he fell asleep. If only any of them knew what humans were really capable of. Jake woke up in a different room. His leg was wrapped in something that felt warm and tingly. The pain was much less now, but he felt very tired. Zixandra was standing next to his bed, looking at a glowing screen. She did not notice he was awake. At first, she was talking to another alien doctor. The human patient is healing as expected, she said. Very slowly, of course. He will need to stay unconscious for at least 3 more days. Such weak creatures, said the doctor. His name tag said Dr. Kethmoran. I have treated many species, but humans are among the most fragile. Look at these scans, Zixandra said, pointing at the screen. His bone density is barely adequate, and these muscle fibers so basic and underdeveloped. Dr. Kethmoran nodded. Yes, I see what you mean. Humans must live very easy lives on their world. No real challenges to make them strong. Jake wanted to laugh at that, but he felt too weak. Easy lives? Humans worked in dangerous jobs, fought wars, climbed mountains, and survived disasters. But he was too tired to argue. The gravity on Earth must be very light, Zixandra continued. That would explain why they are so weak and soft. Poor things, said Dr. Kethmoran. It is good that stronger species like us can help them. They walked away, still talking about how sorry they felt for weak humans. Jake closed his eyes and tried to go back to sleep, but he could not stop thinking about what Lisa had told him before the surgery. She had said something strange while he was drifting off from the pain medicine. Jake, I called Earth Medical. They said something weird. They said not to be surprised if you heal faster than the aliens expect. At the time, Jake had thought Lisa was just trying to make him feel better. But now he wondered what she meant. Meanwhile, on Earth, Dr. Amanda Price was reading Jake's medical file on her computer. She worked for the Colonial Medical Authority. Her job was to keep track of humans who got medical treatment from aliens. This is the 3rd case this month, she said. To her assistant, Carlos Rivera. What do you mean? Carlos asked. The 3rd case of aliens underestimating human healing. Remember the mining accident on Kepler Station? A human patient walked out 2 days early. The alien doctors could not believe it. Carlos nodded. And that construction worker on the moon colony. The alien said he would be in bed for a month. He was back to work in a week. Dr. Price looked worried. We have been keeping this quiet but I think we need to prepare for what might happen." "What do you mean?" "Jake Martinez is going to surprise those alien doctors. And when he does, it might change how the galaxy sees humanity." Back on the medical station, Jake was dreaming. He dreamed about home, about Earth. He dreamed about the heavy gravity that made every step a workout. He dreamed about playing football as a kid, where getting hit was normal. He dreamed about construction work, where lifting heavy things all day made you strong. He dreamed about his grandfather, who had worked in steel mills his whole life. His grandfather had arms like tree trunks and hands that could bend metal. "We are tougher than we look, boy," his grandfather used to say. When Jake woke up the second time, he felt much better. The tingling in his leg was stronger now. He could feel something happening inside his body, something the alien doctors did not expect. Zixandra came to check on him. She looked surprised to see his eyes open. "You should still be unconscious," she said. "The surgery was only 18 hours ago." "I feel okay," Jake said. His voice was stronger than before. "That is impossible. Humans need at least 3 days to recover from this type of surgery." She checked her screen again. "Your brain activity is too high. You should be in deep healing sleep." Jake tried to sit up. It hurt, but not as much as he expected. "No, no, no," Zixandra said, pushing him back down gently. "You must rest. If you move too much, you will hurt yourself worse." But Jake could feel his body working. He could feel his bones growing back together. He could feel his muscles repairing themselves. It was like his body was a machine that worked faster than the aliens thought possible. "I really do feel better," he said. Zixandra made a note on her screen. "Humans often think they feel better than they are. It is because your pain tolerance is so low. The medicine makes you think you are healed." She walked away, shaking her head. Jake heard her talking to another nurse. "The human thinks he is recovering already. So naive. If only he knew how long this will really take." But Jake did know something the aliens did not. He knew that humans had spent millions of years getting stronger. They had survived ice ages and plagues and predators. They had built their bodies. To heal fast and work hard. Earth was not an easy world. Earth was a world that made its children tough. Jake closed his eyes and let his body do what it did best. He let it heal. And he healed much faster than any alien doctor thought possible. Outside his room, more aliens were gathering to look at the human patient. Word was spreading through the medical station that they had a human from Earth. Many of the younger doctors had never seen a human before. "They look so soft," said one. "So small and weak," said another. "I heard they can only lift half their body weight," said a third dot. If Jake had heard this, he would have laughed. Most humans could lift much more than their body weight. Jake himself could lift twice his weight on a good day. But the aliens did not know this. They thought they knew everything about humans from their medical books. But those books were written by aliens who had never been to Earth. They had never felt Earth's heavy gravity or seen Earth's dangerous weather. As Jake slept, his body worked. His bones grew stronger. His muscles repaired themselves. His blood made new cells to replace the ones he had lost. And all around him, aliens whispered about the weak little human who would take so long to heal. They had no idea what was coming. Jake woke up on the second day feeling like a new person. The pain in his leg was almost gone. He could move his toes without wanting to scream. Something was definitely different. He sat up in bed. The movement felt easy and natural. Around him, other alien patients were lying very still in their beds. Some had been there for weeks. According to the charts Jake could see, Zixandra walked into the room, carrying her glowing medical pad. When she saw Jake sitting up, she stopped walking. Her silver eyes went wide. "What are you doing?" she asked, rushing over to him. "I feel much better," Jake said. "I think I can stand up." "Absolutely not." Zixandra pushed him back down onto the bed. "You will damage your repair work. Humans take at least 4 days to reach this stage of healing." She ran her scanner over Jake's leg. The device made happy beeping sounds. Zixandra frowned at the screen. "This cannot be right," she said. She scanned him again. The same happy beeping sounds. "What does it say?" Jake asked. "It says your bone fusion is at 60%, but that is impossible. Yesterday it was at 10%. Bones do not heal this fast." Dr. Kethmorin heard the commotion and came over. "What is the problem, nurse?" "The human patient. His healing rate is ... unusual." Dr. Kethmorin took the scanner and checked Jake himself. His face showed the same confusion as Zixandra's. "Run a full diagnostic on the scanner," he told another nurse. "It must be broken." While they tested their equipment, Jake felt more energy flowing through his body. His muscles felt strong. His bones felt solid. This was how he always felt after a good night's sleep back on Earth. The other patients in the room were watching. Now, a blue-skinned alien with tentacles for arms pointed at Jake. "Why is the human moving so much?" the alien asked. "I have been here for 12 days with a similar injury, and I still cannot sit up." "Humans heal differently," Zixandra said, but she did not sound sure anymore. His scatter diagnostic came back normal. The device was working perfectly. Jake really was healing much faster than anyone expected. "I want to try standing," Jake said. "No," said Dr. Kethmorin firmly. "You will hurt yourself. Trust us, we are medical professionals." But Jake was getting tired of lying in bed. He was tired of being told he was too weak to move. Most of all, he was tired of the way the aliens looked at him like he was made of glass. "I know my own body," Jake said, "and my body is telling me I can stand." Before anyone could stop him, Jake swung his legs over the side of the bed. The wrapped leg felt strong and stable. He put his feet on the floor. "Stop," Zixandra said. "You will re-break the bone." Jake stood up. His leg held his weight perfectly. There was no pain, just a small ache like after a hard workout. The entire medical room went quiet. All the alien patients stared at Jake. All the alien nurses and doctors stared too. No one spoke. Jake took a step, then another. He walked to the window and looked out at space. His leg worked fine. "How?" Dr. Kethmorin whispered. "I told you I felt better," Jake said. Zixandra was checking her medical books on her pad. "According to everything we know about biology, this should not be possible. No species heals this fast from this type of injury. Maybe your books are wrong about humans," Jake said. "Impossible. We have studied human anatomy. We know your capabilities." Jake was getting annoyed. These aliens thought they knew everything about humans, but they had never actually lived with humans. They had never seen what humans could really do. "You think you know us," Jake said, "but you do not know anything. We know that humans are a fragile species from a low-gravity world with no natural predators," Dr. Kethmorin said. "We know that you have weak bones and simple muscle structure." Jake laughed. "Low gravity? Earth's gravity is 9.8 meters per second squared. What is the gravity here?" Zixandra checked her pad. "Standard galactic gravity, 3.2 meters per second squared. So Earth's gravity is 3 times stronger than normal," Jake said. The aliens looked at each other. "That cannot be right," Zixandra said. "If that were true, humans would be incredibly strong in normal gravity." "We are," Jake said simply. "And no natural predators?" Jake continued. "Earth has bears that can break trees with their paws, sharks with teeth like knives, snakes with poison that can kill in minutes. Big cats that hunt humans for food. The alien patients were listening to every word. Some of them looked scared. Humans have survived ice ages, Jake said. We have survived plagues that killed millions. We have survived wars and disasters, and famines. We do not break easily. Dr. Kethmorin was typing frantically on his pad. I am looking up Earth's environmental data, he said. His face went pale. Oh my, he whispered. What does it say? Zixandra asked. Earth's gravity is indeed 3 times galactic standard. The atmospheric pressure is much higher than normal. The weather includes violent storms, extreme temperature changes, and frequent natural disasters. He kept reading. The planet has thousands of predator species. The dominant species, humans, evolved as persistence hunters, capable of running for hours to exhaust their prey. Zixandra took the pad and read for herself. It says here that humans regularly lift objects weighing more than their own body mass. They can run for kilometers without stopping. They can survive in temperatures that would kill most galactic species. She looked up at Jake with new eyes. Your world. It is classified as a death world. A what? Jake asked. A death world. A planet so dangerous that most species could not survive there for even a day. The room was completely silent now. All the aliens were staring at Jake with a mixture of fear and amazement. Jake smiled. Now you are starting to understand. He pulled off his medical gown, revealing his human body in all its earth-forged glory. What the aliens saw made them gasp. Muscles that had been built by fighting Earth's heavy gravity every day of his life. Bones that had been strengthened by years of hard work and dangerous jobs. Scars that told stories of surviving in a world that did not make things easy. This is what a human really looks like, Jake said. And for the first time since he had arrived, the aliens stopped laughing. At the weak little human, they were too busy trying to understand what they were really looking at. The silence in the medical room lasted for a long time. Every alien patient and doctor stared at Jake's body with wide eyes. Some of them made soft gasping sounds. Dr. Kethmorin was the first to speak. I need to call the xenobiology department. Immediately. He rushed out of the room, talking rapidly into his communication device. Jake could hear him using words like unprecedented and completely wrong assumptions. Zixandra walked slowly around Jake, looking at him like she had never seen a human before, which Jake realized she probably had not. Not really. Your muscle density, she said quietly. It is unlike anything in our medical databases. She held up her scanner and ran it over Jake's arm. The device made sounds it had never made before. The scanner cannot properly measure your bone density, she said. It keeps giving error messages. An alien patient in the bed across from Jake raised one of his forearms. Excuse me, he said in a shaky voice. Did you say that your people evolved on a death world? I guess so, Jake said. Though we just call it home. And you can really run for hours without stopping? Asked another patient, a female alien with blue skin. Sure, humans run marathons for fun. That is 42 kilometers without stopping. The blue alien made a choking sound. I can barely walk to the bathroom. More aliens started asking questions. Is it true you can lift more than your body weight? Do you really survive in extreme temperatures? How do you live with all those predators? Jake answered as best he could. Yes, most humans could lift their body weight or more. Yes, humans lived in deserts and Arctic regions. Yes, Earth had dangerous animals, but humans were usually smart enough to avoid them. With each answer, the aliens looked more amazed and more frightened. Dr. Kethmorin returned with 3 other alien doctors. They all wore different colored clothes that meant they were specialists. This is Dr. Velthara, our head of xenobiology, Dr. Kethmorin said, pointing to a tall alien with 6 arms. "She needs to examine you." Dr. Velthara approached Jake carefully, like he might be dangerous. "Human Jake Martinez, would you be willing to undergo some tests? For science?" "What kind of tests?" Jake asked. "Nothing harmful. We just want to understand your physiology better. We realize now that our medical knowledge about humans is ... incomplete." Jake agreed. He was curious. Too, he had never thought of himself as particularly strong or tough. He was just a normal guy from Colorado who worked construction. They moved Jake to a special testing room. Other aliens began gathering outside the windows to watch. Word was spreading through the medical station that something unusual was happening. Dr. Velthara started with simple tests. She asked Jake to grip a strength-measuring device. "Squeeze as hard as you can," she said. Jake squeezed. The machine made loud beeping sounds, and then went quiet. "What happened?" Jake asked. "You broke our testing device," Dr. Velthara said, staring at the broken machine. "The maximum reading is designed for the strongest known species in the galaxy." She brought out a different machine, one that looked much more heavy-duty. "This one is designed for construction mechs," she said. "Surely a biological being cannot exceed its limits." Jake squeezed again. This machine lasted longer, but eventually started smoking. "Perhaps we should try a different approach," Dr. Velthara said weakly. They tested Jake's reflexes. Normal for an alien was about 0.8 seconds. Jake's reflexes measured 0.2 seconds. They tested his endurance. They put him on a machine, like a treadmill, and asked him to run until he got tired. After an hour, Jake was still running and talking normally. The aliens monitoring him were taking turns because they got tired just from watching. "When will you need to stop?" Dr. Velthara asked. "I could probably do this for a few more hours," Jake said. "This is about the pace I use when I jog in the morning." The aliens exchanged looks of disbelief. They tested his pain tolerance by giving him small electric shocks. The level that made most aliens cry out in pain, Jake barely felt. "Can you turn it up?" he asked. They turned it up to the maximum setting. Jake winced a little, but did not cry out. "This is the level we use to stun violent patients," Dr. Velthara said. "It should knock you unconscious." "It tingles," Jake said. By now, dozens of aliens were pressed against the windows, watching the tests. Jake could hear them talking excitedly in their own languages. Commander Rethtalk, the station's leader, arrived to see what was causing all the excitement. He was a large alien with thick armor-like skin. "What is happening here?" he demanded. Doctor." Velthara explained about Jake's abilities. Commander Rethtalk listened with growing amazement. "You are telling me that this one human is stronger than our construction mechs, faster than our security drones, and tougher than our riot control equipment?" "That appears to be correct, sir." Commander Rethtalk looked at Jake with new respect. "And how many humans are there?" "About 8 billion on Earth," Jake said. "Plus maybe 1 million more on colonies and space stations." Commander Rethtalk went very quiet. Jake could see him doing math in his head. 8 billion, the commander repeated slowly. 8 billion beings with these capabilities. "Well, some are stronger than others," Jake said. "I am pretty average for a construction worker. Athletes are much stronger and faster than me." "Athletes?" Dr. Velthara asked. "People who train their bodies for competition. Some humans can run 100 meters in under 10 seconds. Some can lift 3 times their body weight. Some can fight trained opponents barehanded." The room went completely silent again. Commander Rethtalk activated his communication device. "Get me a direct line to the Galactic Council," he said. "Priority. Alpha, we have a situation here." Jake was starting to understand that this was bigger than just his medical treatment. The way these aliens were acting It was like they had discovered the humans were not what they thought at all. "Are we in trouble?" Jake asked. Commander Rethtalk looked at him for a long moment. "No, human Jake Martinez. I do not think you are." "In trouble?" He paused. "I think the rest of the galaxy might be." 3 days later, Jake was completely healed. His leg worked perfectly, with no pain or weakness. The alien doctors had expected him to be in bed for weeks, but he was ready to go back to work. News of the human revelation had spread across the galaxy faster than Jake could have imagined. The medical station was now full of reporters, scientists, and government officials from dozens of worlds. Zixandra came to Jake's room one last time before he left. She looked very different from the confident nurse who had laughed at his weak human body just a few days ago. "Jake," she said quietly, "I owe you an apology." "For what?" Jake asked, though he knew what she meant. "For treating you like you were less than us. For assuming we knew better than you about your own body. For laughing at your species." She sat down in the chair next to his bed. "We thought we were so advanced, so much better than the new species. Joining the galaxy. We were wrong." Jake nodded. "You were not trying to be mean. You just did not have the right information." "But that is the problem," Zixandra said. "We should have asked you about humans, instead of assuming we knew. We should have listened instead of lecturing." Through the window, Jake could see ships arriving at the medical station. Some were from the Galactic Council. Others were from universities and research centers. Everyone wanted to learn more about humans. "What happens now?" Jake asked. "Everything changes," Zixandra said. "The Galactic Medical Council is rewriting all the textbooks about human biology. Every hospital in the galaxy is updating their treatment protocols for human patients." She showed Jake a news report on her pad. The headline read, "Deathworld species joins galaxy. Everything we knew was wrong." "They are calling Earth a Class 12 Deathworld," she said. "The most dangerous planet ever discovered with intelligent life." Jake looked at the classification. Class 12? What is a normal world? Class 2 or 3. Most species evolve on worlds much safer and easier than Earth. The news report continued. It talked about how humans had been hiding their true capabilities, not on purpose, but because they thought everyone else was just as strong and tough as they were. Dr. Valthara knocked on the door and entered. "Jake, there are some people here who want to meet you." Behind her came Commander Rethtalk and 3 aliens Jake had never seen before. They wore fancy clothes that meant they were very important. "These are representatives from the Galactic Council," Commander Rethtalk said. The lead representative, a tall alien with golden skin, stepped forward. "Human Jake Martinez. I am Counselor Zethan. On behalf of the Galactic Council, I want to formally apologize for how your species has been treated." "You do not need to apologize to me," Jake said. "You did not know. But we should have known. We should have studied your species more carefully before making assumptions. We should have recognized the signs that you came from an unusual world." Counselor Zethan handed Jake a small device. "This is a direct communication link to the Galactic Council. If any human ever has problems with medical treatment or any other issues, you can contact us immediately." "Why me?" Jake asked. "Because you are the human who opened our eyes. You showed us who humans really are." More aliens came to visit Jake over the next few hours. Medical students wanted to learn from him. Xenobiologists wanted to study Earth. Even some military officers came, though they just wanted to shake his hand and welcome humanity to the galactic community. But the visit that meant the most to Jake was from a young alien medical student named Crix Ara. She was studying to be a nurse, like Zixandra. "I want to specialize in human medicine," she told Jake. "I want to make sure no human patient is ever treated badly because of ignorance again." That is a good goal, Jake said. Will you tell me about Earth? She asked. What is it really like to live on a death world? Jake thought about it. It is just home, he said finally. Yes, there are dangerous animals and bad weather and accidents. But there are also beautiful mountains and oceans and forests. There are good people who help each other when things get tough. And the high gravity, does it make everything difficult? You get used to it. It makes you strong, but you do not think about it every day. It is just normal. Krixara took notes on everything Jake said. I am going to request permission to visit Earth, she said. I want to see a death world for myself. You would be welcome, Jake said. Though you might want to start with some gravity training first. When it was finally time for Jake to leave, a crowd had gathered to see him off. Aliens from all over the station came to wave goodbye to the human who had changed everything. Lisa. Wong was there with the crew of the New Horizon. She hugged Jake when she saw him walking normally. I told you those alien doctors would be surprised, she said with a grin. You knew this would happen? Jake asked. Earth Medical has been tracking cases like yours for months. They knew it was. Only a matter of time before someone like you showed the galaxy what humans are really capable of. As they walked back to their ship, Jake saw something that made him smile. Alien medical workers were gathered around tablet computers, watching videos about human anatomy and Earth's environment. They were finally learning the truth. On the ship, Pete Clark welcomed Jake back to work. How do you feel? He asked. Good. As new, Jake said. Better, actually. Good, because we have a big job coming up. The Galactic Mining Consortium wants to hire human workers for their dangerous asteroid operations. Why? Jake asked. Pete grinned. Because word got out that humans are the toughest workers in the galaxy. They are offering triple pay for any human willing to work in high-risk environments. Jake laughed. A few days ago, aliens had thought humans were too weak and fragile for any real work. Now they wanted to hire humans for the most dangerous jobs. In Space Dot, as the New Horizon left the medical station, Jake looked back through the window. He could see Zixandra waving from the observation deck. Next to her stood dozens of other alien medical workers, all of them learning new respect for the species they had once dismissed. Jake waved back, then settled into his chair for the trip to their next job. He was just a construction worker from Earth, doing what humans had always done. Working hard, surviving, and proving that they were tougher than they looked. Behind him, the galaxy was changing. Medical textbooks were being rewritten. Diplomatic relationships were being reconsidered. Military strategists were recalculating the balance of power in space. Not all, because one human had taken off his shirt and shown the universe what 8 billion years of evolution on a death world could create. And Jake Martinez, the man who started it all, was already thinking about his next job.